Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Heyyy HR, and today we're going to talk all about predicting when a layoff is going to happen. So some indicators that you can kind of see that there just may be a layoff coming soon. So this helps you either brace yourself or find another opportunity, create a plan, have conversations, whatever it is that you need to do. So if you want to know some of the things that you can look at that will traditionally predict a layoff, then definitely keep watching. So I'm just going to go through and tell you the 4 main indicators that a layoff could potentially be coming. And then I'll go through and break down each of those indicators and kind of tell you, like, within this indicator, what are some of the signs? So the 4 major indicators that your company just may be having a layoff, or that an industry just may be having a layoff. And I'll say, industries is having a layoff, is the industry. If you start noticing your competitors or competitors of different companies or companies all in the same industry having a layoff, brace yourself. If you're working in that industry, there just may be a layoff for you too. And so I already talked about this in a previous video, and I'll put that video here where I talked about layoff trends. And whenever there are like these trends that could be saying, hey, we're experiencing a layoff, but definitely if you notice that the same industry is having layoffs. The second thing is slow or no hiring. If you notice that hiring was going crazy, they hiring new people, you can't stop seeing new people coming in every day, all of a sudden it's either less people or no people, that's an indicator that we just may be preparing for a layoff and trying to see if we need one, or trying to see how big we're going to make it, how small we're going to make it, what part we're going to make it for the organization. Another thing can be company mergers and acquisitions. So this is really like a really good indicator. So many times companies will either merge, where 2 companies combine together and become one, or where a big company starts buying smaller companies to work under their name, their company name. When that happens, most times that company was operating in a way, or one company of those multiple companies were operating in a way that was not successful already. So to save that company so that they don't have to close the doors, they merge or they get acquired. And when this happens, whoever buys that company can say, you know what, this is where we feel you've been falling short, so we're going to cut expenses here. So it could be, anything as simple as like a process, or expenses in other areas, or different policies are being adjusted because the company's no longer paying for this, or different perks and benefits that you may have gotten, you no longer get. But it could lead, or could be, that we're going to lay some employees off because we don't need this particular department to help with our new strategy, our new direction, our new goals. Or it could be, hey, we already have these people in place, so we really don't need yours too. So we're going to just cut off these employees or lay off these employees because we already have these employees in place. Like mergers and acquisitions is just a good indicator. And then the last one is town halls. When your company has company-wide meetings, definitely pay attention to the explanations in those meetings, the targets, the goals, and that will help be an indicator or help you to predict if your company may be doing a layoff. So let's talk about industries. When you see companies and the competitors, they're doing layoffs, they're experiencing layoffs, then brace yourself. The next thing is typically there's buzz in the air. So y'all, do not sleep on LinkedIn. I think too many times we ignore how fruitful LinkedIn is. You can literally put in like a hashtag and say layoffs and see all the companies that may have experienced layoffs, all the employees that may have been affected by layoffs. Like, it's going to come up. Even if you don't put in a hashtag, you really could kind of put in just layoffs and see what comes up, because there's so much buzz that happens in that particular social media atmosphere. So that's a professional environment. They're going to talk about layoffs there. They might not talk about layoffs as much on Facebook. They might not talk about it on Instagram, but they're going to talk about it in LinkedIn. Definitely pay attention to the buzz that's going on, because that can let you see what industries are being affected. Are all of these employees working for the same industries? Are all of these employees using the same industry hashtag? Are all of these employees are competitors to each other? Definitely pay attention to what's going on when it comes to that industry. So now when you see slow or no hiring, you might notice that, shoot, every week you got 10 new employees. Now you notice like you only got 5 per month, or 3 every quarter. Something ain't right. We ain't hiring and we still need people. Now it could be that you're not hiring because we already filled that gap. We already filled how many employees we need, but it definitely could be that we're not hiring anymore even though we still need employees because it's costing us too much money. I need y'all to do me a huge favor, and I need y'all to ignore these job posting boards when it comes to predicting or understanding if a company is not hiring. I can't tell y'all how many times HR will leave a position there because one, we still have good candidates here with this is a critical position, or this is one that is hard for us to fill. And so we don't want to lose these candidates. So we're not going to close this requisition. The second thing could be, well, we've been only having so many applicants trickle in. We're going to just keep letting them trickle in. And then when we start hiring again, we're going to honestly already have a pocket of candidates we can choose from. It could be that HR got affected by the layoff and now nobody knows how to close these requisitions. It could be that somebody forgot to close a job. Don't let these job boards tell you if a company is hiring or not, because it's just definitely not a clear indicator. I see so many people are like, especially on LinkedIn, people are like, well, they did all these layoffs, but they still got all these jobs posted online. That don't mean nothing. Like, I don't look at jobs posted online and think that they're literally going to hire you. You apply and see how long it takes them to reply. Like, people really get excited on that. Don't pay attention to that. And then the next thing is referrals. You know, if you have referred someone and you've noticed that in the past when you refer someone, they get them through the pipeline before you know it, they're a team member. Y'all working together. If you notice that you referred somebody and they're moving slow in this process or they haven't reached out to them yet, that's an indicator that they're moving slow on hiring or that they're going into a hiring freeze or they're not hiring at the time, whatever. So it's a good indicator that helps you predict that a layoff may be happening, especially if you have referred someone for like a critical role. They really fit the skills. They have good skills. Listen, that's a predictor. We might be about to have a layoff. You don't know. I hate to say it that way and say it so casually, but it's the truth. I think so many people don't look at these simple things and not realize that, damn it, our company about to have a layoff. All the signs right there. Pay attention to them. So the next thing we're going to talk about is company mergers and acquisitions. This is just an age-old indicator. This always happens. This isn't new to the tech industry. This isn't new to right now in the 20th century. This is something that's been happening since forever ago with banks and real estate and automobiles and plants and manufacturing and all of these places. This has been happening for a long time. That when a company buys out, they get rid of some employees. We've seen Wells Fargo take over, what bank was it now? But when they took over, when Wells Fargo took over, whatever bank Wells Fargo took over before, there were a lot of people that were laid off. It's an indicator. We're going to do a merger and acquisition. If we're two banks merging because this bank is failing, you got 20,000 tellers and I got 60,000. Do I need your 20,000? No, I'm going to keep 10 of your 20,000 and put them with my 60. It's nothing new. Always brace yourself when you see mergers and acquisitions. Me personally, if I see a merger and acquisition and I'm working for that company, I'm paying attention to every little sign y'all laying out. Because I know that with a merger and acquisition, they have made an agreement and now they're trying to satisfy that agreement some way, somehow. Merger and acquisitions is just something that I think y'all really ignore and it's so pivotal. The next thing is your company-wide or town hall meetings. Pay attention to those. See what finance is saying. And even if the finance person himself doesn't speak, pay attention to the financial aspects of these presentations. It's no different than when I worked in organ and tissue donation and we were going through the 2020 whole crunch. No, we didn't experience layoffs, but people were like, are we sure we're good with our job? I'm like, we just had a town hall where our finances were through the roof and we trended higher than we ever trended before. I'm guaranteed we're going to stay employed. And that's what happened. We stayed employed. Nobody got laid off. Your finances is such a big indicator of predicting a layoff or if there's going to be a layoff. If your finances like right on the cusp or you're not meeting deadlines or you're not meeting that target number, probably a chance it's going to be a layoff soon. The next thing is pay attention to where the business's primary focus is. And let's talk tech industry, right? Because we're talking about tech now. Tech is being affected by these layoffs. Let's say if the company says, we're going to put all of our energy into product development, right? We're going to put all of our energy into product development. We've noticed that we've really streamlined our product development. We've noticed that we've really learned the customer journey. We've really learned the customer pain points. We really know what the customer experience should look like. We're comfortable in product. Okay, if you sitting over here and you working in marketing and your job never touches product, you probably should be a little bit concerned. If you're over here working in engineering, well, you need your engineers to make the product. So you might be solid. This is just an example in the tech industry because the tech industry is the buzzing one. It's definitely not an indicator of anything I know specifically, particularly about any company at all. But I want you guys to know that these are kind of an indicator. So that's an example. So let's get out of the tech industry, right? And let's look at like manufacturing. So let's say that in manufacturing, we notice like here, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. We have the Mercedes and Volvo manufacturers here, right? And right now, Mercedes has had so many orders that is booming with cars, with those vans, particularly those Amazon vans, that they're parking them in all kinds of places. Like, I'm watching these vans park at like the fairgrounds. They're parking them at old shut down farms and places that make flowers. I can't think of the name of those. And I'm seeing these these vans just lined up and all these trucks taking them there. So if they say, okay, we're putting all of our energy on the vans, and let's say in Charleston, they made the cars too. I think in Charleston, they primarily make the vans. So if they primarily make the vans in Charleston, and let's say they made the cars, and we notice that, oh, we got a heavy load of what we need for the vans, right? We're going to buy Amazon buying a bunch, all these other companies need these Mercedes vans. And you over here making these little C-class Mercedes, and you in Charleston, and ain't no emphasis there, be careful, because that means the C-class employees just might not be working. They might be the people who get laid off, because we don't need as many people making the C-classes as we need making the vans. So either you want to see them merge you on over to the van side, and you learn how to do that. If your job fits with the van side, if you're making something that goes on both the car and the vans, if you're on a line that creates both the car and the vans, you might be solid. But if you always only make stuff for the C-class and that company focuses on the van, you should be a little nervous. You should really pay attention. Look at what's going on. Okay, so look at the trends in meeting targets. So if over time you've noticed that your trend has been that you are on target, like you're trending on target each time, and you notice that, we're trending to be a little bit less target, but this quarter you might have hit target. Next quarter, you go below, and then the next quarter you go back and you meet target. That doesn't make sense for the math for the whole year. In order to meet target for the whole year, we either need to hit target every single quarter, or we needed to be above target at least one of the 4 quarters. It's simple math, y'all. It's simple math, man. And if y'all learn how to like budget your money and look at trends within your finances, it's no different than for a company. I'm not trying to take up for these companies. I worked in HR for a long time. I know I sound like an HR person when I say this, but people will say they derailed me and like, I didn't even know this was coming. They're trends. Pay attention to these predictors. Pay attention to these indicators. If I know that I made a goal in my personal finances to pay off this number of debt, and it's going to take me X number of money per paycheck to pay it off, and I'm just barely meeting that, or I miss it one time, I'm not going to hit my annual goal. I'm not going to hit my annual goal. I missed it one time, so I'm not going to hit my annual goal. It's no different than these companies. Put these things with your personal finances. Put this thing with your personal life. It's everyday information. I'm getting all wound up with this thing only because I'm looking at these posts, I'm looking at people commenting on these videos, and I'm just like, what? Come on, man. But I made this video so I can help you guys. Help get you straight. Help you understand, because I don't want you to be going crazy like this. You're wasting energy with these posts when you can be out here either predicting this layoff or getting a job somewhere else. Quit wasting your time. Be not have your house in order, like the old folks say. Put your house in order. All right, so that's the end of that video. I went into such a tangent at the end. For those of you who are new to Heyyy HR, I hope that you found this video helpful. For those of you who are returning, I thank you so much for returning. And I just am so grateful that I'm able to provide exactly what you're looking for. I cannot wait to see you guys on the next video.